morning, fellow traders. Public here. It's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Wednesday, May the 5th, 2021. I hope everybody had a great night last night and happy Cinco de Mayo. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. Good. All right, well, let's check and see where we left off the market yesterday. So SPX monthly chart turned red. So we'll see how long that holds up. But again, we've been talking about, you see a link at the end of the video, we can talk about, when is the top in, and the first thing we talked about was when the monthly chart turns red, right? And then we want some follow through on that one. Here we had a red chart, no follow through, red chart, no follow through, red chart. Oh, we got follow through for the Corona crash, right? So we've been tracking that. We also talked about indicators, right? So we want to keep an eye on the weekly chart with the RSI, and also McClellan oscillator is a good one to keep an eye on here too. In fact, I might start adding that to this just so we can kind of keep that there. Right now, right, the McClellan oscillator is a bit extended as well, but again, the crash usually happens when we get to these oversold and overbought levels, right? So again, you can see it's kind of started here, and it's not that we necessarily jump in, but we look for the price action to confirm, right? So we had a shooting star kind of right here, but no breakthrough to the downside. Here we had a spinning top and a huge gap down off the Corona crash weekly and an inside week down. So that kind of gave us a clue that things were looking to push their way downward, right? So we'll keep that on the radar here. We'll just to kind of see how that goes, and kind of go from there. We'll continue to monitor it. So let me actually save that here as part of the grid. Okay. So good stuff there. Let's take a look at the daily chart, guys. Yesterday we closed below the 80 MA, but we did have a big lower shadow on this one. So we really want to see what type of action we get today. The SPY so far this morning looking pretty good. Right, pushing up to the geometric line, kind of a sideways head and shoulder-ish right here. So let's see how it holds going into the morning. One thing I wanted to point out on the SPX, I know you guys like the wave counts out there. Here, right, we got the 1, 2, 3, ABC wave 4, right, 1, ABC wave 2. It looks like we're starting a wave 3 of 3, but what we want to see is, how much we push up today, and then we want to see if the retrace happens. So that'll give us a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3 of 3 is where we really want to be on the long side of things, right? So we're going to definitely keep an eye on that going forward into the next few sessions and possibly in the next week. So let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what we're up to down to. It's eating up 15 points here already. So a big push here going into this morning. We've been holding this geometric line. The overnight high keeps on pushing to new levels. So we're just going to kind of see where it goes, where we finish going into the open. We got an open gap above, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have a nice gap up here. This morning it might fade really quickly, and then we bounce and fill the gap, right? But just keep an eye on this geometric line. It's going to be an important one to hold throughout the day. One of the big things too is if we do see that sub-wave 2 pullback, it could pull back to the point of control. We have a nice signal zone here, and that might be the area to start that wave 3 of 3 up. So let's definitely keep an eye on that point of control going into today as well. MES again, same thing, right? So we really just want to keep an eye. We held the geometric line out from yesterday and through the evening session. So let's see how that goes going into today. Let's take a look at the Qs. See how the tech sector is doing here this morning. So it's been channeling up here, so decent recovery, right? The big thing we just want to make sure is that this doesn't turn into a bear flag, right? So, but it's generally long enough right here where we could continue to hold, but just watch the bottom of the channel to see how it holds going into today. The IWM right into prior support, right? This whole area could be resistance. It's kind of rising wedges, so a little bit of caution off of that one. It's been a little bit, touch sensitive here recently, so just kind of see how it holds. The big thing that, seemed to hold the market up yesterday was the XLF, right? So that kind of had a nice strong move yesterday when the rest of the market was kind of blah, right? So that kind of helped us realize that, hey, maybe the market isn't going to flush, right? That type of thing. The banks are decently strong, but it's got a really steep trend line going up into today. So just if that holds, great, right? But if not, watch for a pullback, possibly this 36.50 area, right? And then maybe even 36.40. So keep an eye on that there too today. Okay, good stuff. Apple. Let's see what that's up to. Up about a point, over a point here this morning. Let's see if the chart will pull up here for us. So looking pretty good. We got a couple signals in from yesterday. Drop base drop, right, and then rally base. Looks like rally base rally right here so far. So see if this holds the support. We can start working our way up. Epic Games, right, has been in the news. I think there's a trial going on or court, session going on with. Some monopoly type stuff with Apple. So we've got that going on. That could have weighed heavy on it yesterday. I'm not surprised to see a little bit of a relief bounce after yesterday's drop. We held the 50-day moving average, right? This is not generally in a bearish trend, right? We broke out through the downward trend line. So this could be kind of working on like a 1-2 here. So we'll see how that goes on Apple going into the rest of the day today. Not super duper bearish on Apple, but it was a nasty drop yesterday. And then of course we got to take a look at Tesla. So Tesla here this morning, up's about 2 points. It's still in the, I'm still generally pretty bearish on Tesla. I do think it's going to pull back and fill this gap. We could be looking at a 1, 2. We could be in part of a wave 3 right here. So just keep an eye on it, see if we get any nasty days. But in the meantime, it's kind of chopping. So, but I'm looking for a wave 3, 4, 5, fill this gap, and then back to being bullish again, I'm sure. So of course it could break out of the downward trend line, change the whole thing, shift the trend box up, blah blah blah, and keep going up. And we'll see how that goes. All right, so good stuff there. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin here. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to get more in-depth video coverage on the stocks or setups that are on our radar, be sure to join our group or subscribe to the Bubble Report for more morning analysis. The Bubble Report includes S&P 500 review, also a market profile game plan on the S&P futures, sector updates, gappers, orbs, unusual option activity, economic calendar, and we also have Elliott wave counts that are on our radar made by Algo 382. Be sure to click the link at the end of this video to subscribe today.